What up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you. It is Tuesday morning. On the way in this morning, I was listening to a win game prediction done by the host and co-host over on Clemson Tater Radio for all the SEC teams, all the games, all the teams, all 10 weeks. They predicted all of them. Some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. You just got to listen to it and see how stupid and homerish they can really be, and not a lot of thought put into these predictions, but let's have a listen, shall we?
Everybody else is starting a couple, 3 weeks before that.
All good things come to those who wait.
Alabama, my friend goes to Missouri. Pretty simple there, right? That's not a very good game.
The Tide roll.
All right. Florida and Ole Miss, you've already made some rumblings on this game.
I'm intrigued.
But
as of right now, like I said earlier, if I'm picking, I got to pick the Gators.
Sam Pittman going against his former team in Georgia, hosting his former team in Georgia.
Yes, sir. Dog one.
Kentucky and Auburn. If the game was in Kentucky, I'd feel pretty good about it. But it's at Auburn, and again, I don't know what this crowds are going to look like and what this home field advantage is going to look like. But this is not a lock for sure. But what are you thinking? Week 1, Kentucky at Auburn.
The return of Terry Wilson, or if Joey Gatewood beats out Terry Wilson in that quarterback job, that could be very intriguing. If Joey Gatewood's going back to the Plains for his first game as a starter. I think Auburn wins, but it is not an easy game for them. I'm really high on Kentucky. Kentucky may have the advantage in the lines of scrimmage, and that may give them the game. You think about it, this may be the best game week 1 for the SEC.
Maybe. Mike Leach headed down to Death Valley. 2.0.
That place they call Death Valley. It's not Death Valley. But LSU wins.
Okay.
Sure. Intriguing.
It's intriguing. It depends on if Bo Pelini's ready. And then with all these opt-outs and how many players are returning on that defense? A lot of new pieces. It's a lot of new pieces. All sides of the ball in that game. Yeah.
Keep an eye on it. Vanderbilt A&M. That seems to be a no-brainer.
I would love to see that game. Gosh, that would make me happy.
By the way, have you seen the spreads for these games?
I have not.
Quickly, here we go, because the week 1 spreads are out. No line yet on Kentucky Auburn. A&M's a 28.5 point favorite at Vanderbilt. Arkansas is a 24-point favorite at Arkansas. Florida 10.5 point favorite at Ole Miss. Alabama 21.5 point favorite at Missouri. LSU's an 18.5 point favorite against Mississippi State. And the last one, I'll let you guess, Tennessee in South Carolina. What do you think the line is?
It's at South Carolina. Tennessee at 3.5.
1. Really? Yeah. So I'll ask you.
You're telling me there's a chance.
And I listened to Walt yesterday.
Gamecocks cover.
Moorblade, and Walt made a great point. Tennessee is marked.
Yeah.
Tennessee is proclaimed. And now we're going to see if they actually are ready. There's a lot of teams who bark. They're ready to bite. There's a lot of teams who say they are back. Texas, are you listening? A lot of teams tell you before seasons. Georgia, are you listening? This is your year?
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams out there who love talking in August and telling you they're back. Hey, look, Missouri, so the end of the season great last year. Guess who? Much tomato cans, that's one thing. But it's self-inflicted pressure to Tennessee to come out of the gates.
Oh, for sure. They've
not only that,
way too much.
They still have Alabama. They still have Georgia. Took a lot after it. So Tennessee can ill afford a loss going down. I remember last year they won by 20 in Knoxville. This would be a major feather. Will Muschamp needs this kind of game.
He's not going to have many.
Yeah. So who wins the game? I don't know what you're going to say. You're biased against South Carolina.
Yeah. I am biased.
Week 2.
Rocky Top.
How about a little A&M at Arkansas? I mean, A&M at Alabama.
I'm not that
Really?
No.
A&M's first.
I'm buying 0 stock in A&M.
Right. Arkansas, Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Arkansas over 2.
Yeah.
We don't wait to November. We've got Auburn at Georgia week 2.
At Georgia. You lean dogs here, but that game, it could be as crazy as Auburn, Alabama. You know, you were just talking about how Tennessee's been doing a lot of barking. Boy, so has Georgia. So
There were
has
times in
Georgia.
here, though, in this series where the visiting team won all the time. I'm not sure that's going to happen this year.
That's a coin flip game to me. I can see it going either way.
South Carolina at Florida. You got shot at 0-2.
Of course.
Ole Miss, Kentucky.
Ah, y'all are dumb as hell.
Kentucky.
Oh, Miss starts at 0-2. LSU at Vanderbilt.
This is why I'm recording this,
Missouri at Tennessee.
so that everyone can be entertained by the stupidity.
So, through 2 weeks, the only undefeated teams in the league are Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, and LSU. Week 3.
The traditional powers.
Right. Week 3.
Traditional.
Oh, by the way, I just saw this. Alabama, Tennessee's not the 3rd Saturday in October this year. Anyway, Alabama at Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin against his old boss. Remember, the old
Saving
boss
assistants don't beat.
saving assistants don't beat. Yeah.
I mean, I could see Lane Kiffin getting one of these in a couple years,
Yeah.
but Matt Luke didn't leave him enough in the cover to go to beat Alabama.
Ole Miss 0-3.
Why is Alabama and Tennessee considered a big game anymore?
Arkansas 0-3.
When was the last time Tennessee won it? Like
at Georgia,
1904?
Big E. At that point,
I
now,
see
2 top 10
Georgia
teams.
punching Tennessee right in the mouth.
Okay, Maize Bowl.
Well,
Florida at
they'll have a
A&M.
good seat.
Yeah, Georgia can't beat the Gamecocks, so...
I hope his dad didn't try to move the seat.
You know what? I want to give us some credit here. We're 53 minutes into the show, and this is the first K-based joke we've made.
I just can't put a finger on who's going to win the game. But
What am I now?
a little tip I'll give you here is don't turn the ball over. Florida at A&M.
Florida.
A&M with their second loss for them too. Mississippi State at Kentucky.
I don't know if Kentucky has enough firepower to keep up. This is a tough one because we just don't know what Mississippi State is. I mean, we think we know the personnel, the scheme, but to see it all take place. That being said, if Mike Leach's offense is clicking, I don't see Kentucky. Last year, they didn't even know how to throw a forward pass. I know they've got 2 good quarterbacks. I like Terry Wilson and Joey Gatewood both. I just don't know if they'll have enough firepower to keep up.
I don't like either one of them. I don't like Kentucky's quarterbacks. But so who wins?
You're the smarter of the two.
Mississippi State.
Their quarterbacks suck.
Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and LSU remain undefeated. Ole Miss, Arkansas, Missouri. I forgot to ask this. Missouri, LSU. South Carolina, Vanderbilt.
South Carolina.
Freshman formation.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You picked
Vanderbilt,
the one
Missouri,
one.
Arkansas, Ole Miss still.
Oh
wins.
shit! That's...
Week 4, the game of the year in the SEC. Georgia at Alabama. Ole Miss at Arkansas. 2 new coaches in this one.
Ole Miss.
Arkansas. Auburn
Felipe
at
Franks
South.
is not going to do it.
Auburn at South Carolina. South Carolina 1-3. LSU at Florida. Big E.
Man, that's tough. There's so much more known about Florida, but just because it's known doesn't mean I like it.
It's in the swamp though. What's home field advantage this year though?
We don't know. Give me the Gators.
Kentucky at Tennessee.
I think Kentucky is a bounce back game.
Beats Tennessee. A&M at Mississippi State.
I mean, I could see the Georgia loss for Tennessee beating them twice. And especially with Kentucky being in between Georgia and Alabama. You know, with a team that does a whole lot of talking, I don't know how good they're going to be with week-to-week management.
Sure. A&M at Mississippi State.
They ain't winning week 1.
I
Yeah,
can't
know
keep
that.
Mississippi State all these ones. Anyway, they're even though I'm not high on A&M.
Vanderbilt, Missouri.
The game of the year in the league of college football. It's at Missouri?
Yes.
Give me Missouri.
And let's do week 5 now. We'll do the second half of the season. We might do week 6. We can see what time we have here. 4th Saturday in October, Alabama at Tennessee.
Alabama.
Tennessee, 2-3. Auburn at Ole Miss.
1-4.
Ole Miss. This is their upset.
Ouch. Missouri at Florida.
Florida.
Georgia at Kentucky.
Kentucky's feeling really good about a big one over Tennessee. They're going to lose to
Georgia. South Carolina at LSU.
Go Tigers.
We're much at 1-4.
I mean, every team that's named the Tigers has to be South Carolina this year. You know, do our work for us.
Let me get week 6 in here.
All right.
Mississippi State at Alabama.
Closer than the experts think, but Alabama wins.
Arkansas at A&M.
A&M.
LSU at Auburn.
Auburn.
See,
I didn't feel great about that, but
I figured you either had that or gas. Kentucky at Missouri.
Kentucky.
And Ole Miss at Vanderbilt.
Hotty toddy.
Vanderbilt. Let's get week 7 because we have time.
All right.
Tennessee at Arkansas.
Rocky Top.
Florida, Georgia in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, formerly.
Give me the dogs.
Hey. Vanderbilt, Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Bad start. A&M at South Kakalaki.
Giggle.
Of course.
South Carolina. We have quick time here. Let's fly. Week 8. No, we can't because Alabama LSU won't talk about that game.
All right.
So we're through week 7. So far, Alabama the only undefeated. No, Alabama and Georgia's undefeated. Who beat Georgia? Oh, Alabama beat Georgia. Alabama the only undefeated team. 1 lost team so far. Georgia, Florida. Only 1 lost team so far. Hey, my friends at Harbin Lumber, it's Tennessee. You got to wear a South Carolina hat.
The experts had to take a break. Sorry.
If John has to pay, no disrespect, but John has to pay. If not, there's a couple 100,000 people that can hold him accountable. We got your number on here. We don't know who you are. So you might do it, might not do it. You'll have to pay. It's like in Vegas where Nikki tells the clean face, I want money back. There's no risk. Right. Love to do it. Love to do that kind of stuff, but we sure. Some texture skips out on his deal there, and everybody says, "Oh, I'll pay you." I'll pay you. No, can't do it. Can't do it. Bad for business too.
We're not doing it because we're scared.
You won't catch me.
We're scared.
Anything.
Go ahead and say it. You're scared.
Well, I mean, who knows?
Maybe if when they drop the shower curtain, if it is Cocky who's behind the curtain this year, maybe
it's going to be Cocky again.
I don't know, man. You never fully know that it's going to be Cocky. You never know.
Drake calls one of his grandmothers, who is Cookie. That's Cookie. But he calls her Cocky.
You gotta fix that.
But he asked for cookies as cookies. But she's Cocky. Anyway. Let's continue in this segment. By the way, Tony Morrell, 805. Got a lot to do. In case you're just joining us, SEC schedule is released. We're going week by week. Big Ten's not even sure if they voted or not. Cade Mays was denied. And he'll appeal now. We'll see if he can get that at Tennessee. UNC got their money, but then canceled classes, moved everything online. Frank Latson back at Clemson's practice. Major League Baseball last night, NHL playoffs last night, NBA playoffs last night. And later this hour, I'm going to give you Ipte's redshirt options. You've seen that email if you're a member of Ipte. But wanted to do a win game this week. This segment. We're on week 8, and the two powers of the league meet again, Alabama and Baton Rouge.
And there's so much turnover at LSU. I sound like a broken record when I said that's not breaking news here. You got to go Alabama.
Third loss for LSU. Arkansas at Florida. Seventh loss. Auburn at Mississippi State.
That's going to be a shootout. I'll go Auburn. I can see Mississippi State starting out hot and then kind of, sputtering out towards the end.
Georgia at Missouri. South Carolina at Ole Miss.
Toddy.
A&M at Tennessee.
Do you really have to even think about that one?
Tennessee. Week 9,
Stupid.
Kentucky at Alabama.
Dumb as hell.
LSU at Arkansas.
LSU.
Tennessee at Auburn.
This is going to be one of those head-scratching games for Gus Malzahn.
You really have to think about that. You're so dumb.
Because he always has one every year where you're just like, what are you doing? I think that's going to be that game.
Florida at Vanderbilt.
Florida.
Mississippi State at Georgia. Ole Miss at A&M.
I still think there's a talent gap there. Yeah,
Missouri at South Carolina.
South Carolina.
We head to week 10. Auburn at Alabama.
If this was in Jordan, would maybe go Auburn. Jordan. Give me Alabama.
Arkansas at Missouri.
Oh, do I have to?
Yeah, you have to.
It's at Missouri. I'll take the home team. Take Missouri.
Kentucky at Florida.
Florida.
Georgia at South Carolina.
Georgia.
LSU at A&M.
LSU.
Mississippi State at Ole Miss.
Man, the Egg Bowl is going to be so much fun. I'll take Mike Leach and the Bulldogs.
At Ole Miss. Tennessee at Vanderbilt.
Tennessee.
Finally, Alabama at Arkansas.
Boy, how nice is it for Alabama to start their season with Missouri and end with Arkansas? Alabama.
A&M at Auburn.
Auburn.
I got you right. So that's an A&M loss. Florida at Tennessee.
Florida.
Vanderbilt at Georgia. South Carolina at Kentucky.
Kentucky starts the streak again.
Ole Miss at LSU.
LSU.
And Missouri at Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Here are your records. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to like the sound of these, but let's go for it.
Arkansas 0-10.
I'm okay with that.
Vanderbilt 1-9.
Yeah.
South Carolina 2-8.
Yeah.
Missouri 2-8. You had Ole Miss 4-6.
Sounds about right.
Mississippi State 5-5.
Yeah.
Kentucky 5-5. Tennessee 5-5.
They got a whole lot of 3 stars though. That should be good for 6-5.
A&M 6-4.
Yeah.
Auburn 6-4.
Yeah.
LSU 7-3. Florida 9-1.
Oh, I don't like that.
Well, you
Georgia
picked it.
9-1, but they beat Florida head-to-head. They win the East. And Alabama 10-0.
Outside of, I think Florida finds another loss on that schedule. I don't know if they're a 9-1 team, but
Well, let me ask you
sounds
this.
about right.
Well, yeah, there's opportunities for Florida. So Alabama wins the West, Georgia wins the East. They play in the Georgia Dome on December the 19th, and
Nick Saban assistants don't beat Nick Saban. Alabama.